What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to When Trust Turns Tragic. I'm your host, Tasha. And if you're new here, we examine the trust behind these tragedies, relationships, family dynamics, friendships, and we dive into why this turned toxic and what we can learn from these tragic stories. I share a name with this queen that we're talking about today. Her name is Latasha Norman. She was born April 21st, 1987 in Greenville, Mississippi. She grew up in a big family. Her relatives described them as a close-knit family. Child, and that's basically all of us down south. We all grew up in a big family. My grandma had 15 kids. Danny was her stepdaddy, and he married Latasha's mama, Patricia, when she was 2 years old and raised her since she was a baby. So he considered her as her daughter, and he described having great pride in raising her. But her maternal uncle, Matthew, telling everybody a different story. He said her mother, Bertha Norman, was her primary caregiver, Latasha's grandmother, had raised her, fed her, clothed her from birth. When she was about 10, she was a Girl Scouts. I remember I did Girl Scouts in middle school as well. So that's something else me and her got in common. Her big sister Keisha was a big influence on her life. She played the flute just like her. She even became a majorette and joined the dance line just like her big sister. She had dreams to become a teacher one day. She was real shy her first year of high school, but after practicing all her activities and all the events with her sister, she started getting more talkative and became out of her shell. Big sis always taught her, keep trying, keep doing your best, don't settle for less. So Latasha got older and she got closer to her senior year. She started thinking more, serious about what she want to do when she finished high school. And accounting, that's what eventually caught her attention. When she was still in high school, she worked at Ben's Country Market in Greenville, part-time with this dude named Stanley. Her and Stanley ended up dating each other on and off. And so she back in when she was working there, she was like 17, 18 years old. So mind you, he was a grown man. He was around 21, 22 years old. He like 4 years older than her. So he already finished high school and all that when they started dating and everything. Now, mind you, I want you to pay attention to that. That's something that's a red flag. What do a grown man, he's a legal adult. Yes, he's a young man, young adult, but 21, 22 years old. What do you want to do with a 17, 18-year-old senior in high school? What you want to do with her? You see what I'm saying? That's something that you have to think about. Why would a grown man want to date somebody that's still in high school? Is it because, it's easier to control and manipulate somebody like that? That's still young like that? We got to start teaching our teens about this. If you're a parent and you decide, okay, I want to allow my child to date as a teenager, we got to put them on game. We got to instill this in their mind so they know I shouldn't be dealing with somebody like that. I shouldn't be. These are signs that people need to be aware of. Because a lot of times these kids go out here dating and they lost. They ain't got no clue. Besides dating, they ain't got no clue on the world itself. And us as parents, it's our job to teach them that. Latasha decided that she wanted to attend Jackson State University to pursue her accounting degree. Because her daddy played football there. She had multiple uncles who played football at Jackson State as well. And one of her uncles went on and played professional football. Her family described the Norman name as being strongly associated with Jackson State. So that's spewed for her desire to go ahead and attend Jackson State University as well. She actually encouraged her man, Stanley, that she met at the restaurant to go to Jackson State as well, and she helped him enter the college, help him get accepted and everything. And he went ahead and pursued and studied criminal justice. Her family teased her about becoming the next Norman associated with the Jackson State name. Her stepfather remembered the day that her family took her to campus. You go to orientation, move her into her dorm. He recalled that Latasha was ready for them to leave while her mama, was still having such a hard time. She didn't want to let her baby go, leave the nest. Her mama kept trying to find things to do around the room, cleaning up, making up the bed, and just trying to stay longer. We know how that is when your baby leave that nest. And her mama was a teen parent. So she was very, very proud of her daughter going on to pursue accounting. The school already knew off rip about her academic records and everything, because she took her education serious. That's one thing about Latasha. She didn't play about them grades, honey. She became involved with the accounting society and organized in an organization connected to the students pursuing the same professional field. So she had chose. She also served as the Jackson and Yearbook. She was well connected to the publications office. That put her in a whole nother part of the campus, in the campus life. So it gave her opportunities to interact with other students that's outside of her academic program. It was a girl named Abigail. She was another accounting student, and she described her as quiet, reserved. And this encounter with her was on an accounting society service trip. So the interactions was, ordinary student interactions that you would have. But another student, Kara Warner, she remembered her personality being more warming and specifically recalled her as always smiling. That go to show you, different people get different versions of us. Different people, certain people get certain sides of us. A particular person, one person, you might not be comfortable with one person, and another person may make you feel more comfortable when you can actually be yourself. Latasha will also work there part-time at the Michael store, the arts and crafts Michaels. She worked there. She was real busy and still did extremely well academically. She made it on the dean list and all. She was real close to her mama. Every day after work, she talked to her mama on the phone. Make sure, on the way home to the dorm, she talked to her mama every single day on that phone. And the school recognized her as a honorable student. Her and her big sister, Keisha, had talked about opening an accounting business in Greenville after Latasha completed her college degree. So by the time that was in 2007, and her and Stanley had broke up during this time. So, but of course, they was both still attending the same school. They both were still pursuing their degree. So she had moved on, gotten another relationship with this dude named Marquise. And Stanley was seeing somebody else too. Her name was Simone. They was all students at the college. Another Jackson State student. And they all was from Greenville as well. But one thing about Stanley, he was seeing Simone the whole time that he was in relationship with Tasha. He made it official with the girl after him and Latasha broke up. So he said, I'm going to go ahead and main her. See, Simone was side chick during the whole relationship. But he mained her after he get rid of Latasha. See? Now, mind you, allegedly her and Stanley already had an on and off relationship. Off rip. Like that was their relationship dynamic. Anyways. Them on and off relationships. Can't seem to get it right. Back and forth for years. Since childhood, since our senior year in high school. They've been on and off, can't get it right. For some reason. He just can't get it right. Be careful with them type of relationships. Be very mindful of them. If I gotta teach you basic decency or how to treat me as a human being, if you can't respect me just off the strength of that, just off the strength of me being human, we need to be respecting one another. If you can't do that, and I gotta teach you how to do that, honey, we don't need to be together. I shouldn't have to teach you how to respect another human being. There's something wrong with that. So that's something that we got to think about when we want to stay involved in these relationships, when we want to fix these relationships. Why is it that I have to teach a grown adult how to treat another person? If you gotta beg a person to be empathetic towards your feelings, then you're not in a healthy relationship. Especially if they don't make no type of effort whatsoever in even trying to understand your point of view, or just trying to put themselves in your shoes. Like, nah. Ain't no, you might well not even waste your time on that. Because that's all of them on and off relationships. That's all that's about. One person won't treat you how you want to be treated, basically. And Stanley, he had kids outside of the relationship with another woman in Greenville as well. That's outside of Simone and Latasha. So during the relationship, she told her people that he had slapped her one time. And of course, her family warned her that it's going to happen again. But she still wanted to pursue and continue the relationship. She was also giving him rides whenever he needed them. And that was during the time that they was off in the relationship as well. So it seemed like Stanley was the only one benefiting from this on and off relationship, from what I see. So that's a red flag, folks. It's never a good sign when it's a one-sided relationship. It was already drama connected to dude. So on October 7th, 2007, Latasha, Stanley, Dante, Jonquisha was all in Tasha's car. They were headed to Ruby Tuesday, the restaurant, so Stanley can go pick up his check. Latasha got a phone call, and Stanley ain't like who she was talking to. He ain't like how that conversation was going. So he knocked the phone out the lady's hand. And it turned physical then. She started moving and struggling, and she ended up striking Stanley and knocking the boy's tooth out his mouth. The front tooth at that. So he hit her back and her lips started bleeding. They had to separate both of them. That's how intense it was. So at this point, they said they're going to go ahead and leave Ruby Tuesday and go ahead and go back to the dorm room. She went there and filed a police report with the campus police, but they say it's out of their jurisdiction. So she went ahead and filed to the Wright County and did a domestic violence charge. And so she went back to her regular life, school, work, while the charges still remain pending because he didn't go to his court date yet. Saturday, November 10th, her and her man Marquise went back to Greenville because her little brother had a ball game that they was attending, and she wanted to show her man off. She wanted her family to meet him. She was real serious about this boy. They had a good day. Latasha's family say they enjoyed that day, and he a real decent dude. And she seemed to be happy when she around him, like she always smiling and giggling. She noticed that her car tire was slashed and the license plate was missing. So she told her family about it, and so they told her go ahead and file a report, have that on documented, so you can have your paper trail. So big sis Keisha, she called her just to check up on her, make sure everything's straight with her. But she did notice something was wrong with her little sister voice. She couldn't really put a finger on it, trying to figure out what's going on. Why my little sister sound like this? This ain't her normal. This ain't her normal tone. How she sound? What's going on? But Keisha was busy at that time that she did call. She just was really just checking in on her. So she didn't really have time to go into all that talking with her. So she told her she'll call her back. Okay, she called her back. Latasha ain't answer the phone. She didn't pick up. Last time she was seen was leaving class around 2:20, November 13th. Her parents went ahead and took the initiative to drive to Greenville and go to the campus and try to figure out where is their daughter, what's going on. And her man also reported her missing too to campus police. Kind of find out to the State Department of Public Safety. Her vehicle was still on campus though. She missed all her classes. Her roommates ain't seen her. She didn't go to her job at the part-time Michael store. She didn't go there. She didn't talk to her mama. You know, she loved talking to her mama. Every single day she talked to her after she leave that job. She didn't go to her dorm room all night long. Nobody have seen her literally all day long. And her family ain't sit back and wait for no police either. They sure didn't. They took the initiative to go on campus, ask people around, ask the local stores that's around, and put up flyers around the campus and tape them up. And just try to find enough information as they could. The first thing the police did was talk to Stanley. That was 2 days later. They caught up with him at the school. He walk around like everything cool. But he claimed that he spoke to her in 3 weeks to a month. And how about the same day that the police questioned him, he ended up withdrawing from the whole program. The same day. The police asked the girlfriend Simone if she seen her. She claimed she ain't seen either. Because she a student at the campus as well. So they questioned her man Marquise. They ended up running into him. And the investigators confirmed he was working during the time of Latasha disappearance. So, and they looked up his phone records, so he ain't got nothing to do with it. They X'd him out, zeroed him out as a suspect. The detectives found out that Simone Stanley's current girlfriend was selling her Dodge Neon mysteriously after being questioned by the police the same day. So your man withdraw from class, same day they question police, and the girlfriend, you selling your car the same day the police question you? Oh, okay, ma'am. They found out that she was pregnant too. They was living together. He was always using her car mostly. So he had the car more than her. So the police put two and two together. Like, okay. So basically he using her for her car. And he the one driving the car. So he really responsible for that car. Anything that's in that car, that's on him. You the only one got the car 24/7. So they ended up getting a warrant to search that car. Because, man, why are you selling your car the same day? Make it make sense. That's the issue. See, he the type to ride around in your car all day. He the type to have your car on E. He ain't gonna bring your car back full. No. Running up and down the street. Running over potholes. He ain't slowing down for no pothole. You chasing on the behind of a dump truck trying to get them to go faster. And they dumping rocks hitting the window. He the type to ride your car all day long and have the window and windshield bust out. Crack. You get from work, you like, what is this? New dents in my car? Windshield? What is this? Your oil pan nailed and came loose because he running over railroad tracks fast. See, that's an issue. That can't, no, you can't tolerate that. Running all the miles on the girl car, ain't even pay for an oil change. He just stringing both of them two women along, using them. Jackson police and the FBI got involved, working together for this missing woman. They located the car, finally, and it ended up being blood in the trunk. And the carpet lining was ripped out of the back seat, out of the trunk. So what is you taking the carpet out the trunk for? The blood was obviously sent to the DNA lab, and unfortunately, that matched up to Latasha Norman. On November 29th, Stanley went to Pearl County Court because he had that pending charge for the domestic violence. So he finally went to the court date for that incident back out to the Ruby Tuesday back in October. In that same courtroom, they arrested him for Latasha's murder. He led police to her remains area off Brown Street near the Talego College on that county line road, right there in Jackson. She was in an advanced state of decomposition after being exposed in the woods for about 2 weeks. She was taken to Dr. Stephen Hine for the autopsy. The doctor testified he identified an injury on Latasha's chest, which ended up being a stab wound. And then they had another forensic doctor come in, Maria. She examined her, and she had this concerning reddish, brownish area on her head. So Stanley told the police he picked Latasha up from the campus in his pregnant girlfriend car. And the two of them argued. The argument ended up being physical, like always. He said he struck her in the head, and then she started becoming unconscious. So he panicked, put her in a trunk, and later said that she was no longer breathing. So he left the body in the woods. He a whole man, overpowering her. And he talking about he panicked. All right, boy. All right. Time to stand trial. Just admit you did it, you lame woman beater. They want to put their hands on a woman, but they don't have that same energy for their homeboy when they violate them. Anytime their homeboy cross them, they don't have that same energy for that. Never. But all right. Real cowardly thing to do. He really ain't had no defense either. He just argued that, yeah, they had an argument, but he never resulted it to be murder. The state convicted Stanley of murder. They ain't got time. But it ain't over. He did not quit this fight. He said he gonna fight. Stanley's attorney appealed the conviction. One of the central evidence was the refusal to get a jury a manslaughter introduction. The Mississippi Court of Appeals later agreed. The courts concluded that based on Stanley's account of the confrontation, the evidence presented jury could have considered him guilty of the manslaughter if they would have introduced them to that instead of the murder charge of real. So he was granted a new trial opportunity. He pleaded guilty to the manslaughter and he received a 40-year sentence on the combined charges. So 20 years of manslaughter, 15 years for the armed robbery, 5 years for aggravated stalking, with those sentences ordered to run consecutively. He did receive credit for the 6 years he already did when he spent in custody. So Stanley was originally convicted of murder and sentenced to life. That conviction was reversed, constantly showing victims' family that their feelings don't matter until it happened to one of their family members. Then it'll be a different story. It's just the fact that it's like they so empathetic towards the murderer. It's just backwards. That don't sit right with me. After Latasha's death, Jackson State University had a memorial service for her on December 3rd, 2007. Hundreds of students and faculty members gathered at the Rose Emily McCoy Auditorium. Her family kept her name alive, keeping her story connected to domestic violence awareness. Her parents, Patricia and Danny Baldwin, spoke publicly about Latasha and used her story to encourage young people to recognize the warning signs about abusive relationships. They also did an annual 5K run that's connected to domestic violence awareness. They do that every single year. And the proceeds benefits towards the Latasha Norman Center that they have on campus. The university named a building after her, Latasha Norman Center for Counseling Services. It provides student support service, offers individuals, couples, and group counseling, crisis intervention, and consultations, training and outreach. She also got a scholarship in her name. So there was an event attempt by students and Greek organizations to financially support Latasha's family. Beta Theta members raised money for her relatives, while the members of the Zeta Theta Beta also organized fundraising. That effort, unfortunately, became complicated because it was a dispute of the proceeds about the benefits, like where the money was going. Cause her family was confused. Like Latasha's stepdaddy, Danny, publicly questioned where the money had gone. And then the maternal mother, Matthew Norman, said all the future donations just go to the college fund, her scholarship fund that's already been established. Do it directly to them. And my final thoughts on this case is just pay attention. Pay attention, please. I cannot stress that enough. It's a difference between a person needing you and wanting you, right? Because if you need somebody, I'm relying on you to survive. Like I'm relying on you for the daily tasks we need as an adult. You know that's gonna become an issue eventually. It's like you can't live or breathe without that person. You rely on them for basic adult necessities. That's survival mode. Do or die. So and a person like that, they can't love you. They don't know what love is. They mind is on survival mode. That's all they can think about. You see what I'm saying? So that's something you have to pay attention to. It can really. You don't want nobody to need you. It can really get real ugly. You want somebody to want you, somebody to choose you every single day, just for who you are, not for what you provide for them. Rest in power to this beautiful soul, Latasha Norman. That wraps up this episode. And I see you back here for episode 6.